Abel Adejoh. Abel Adejoh is the co-founder and CEO of PettySave and an architectural consultant for Pertinence Limited. Abel has a vast experience in the real estate and construction industry. He has led various major estate development and management projects in the past years, some of which include the ABC Megacity, a low-cost 1,000-unit housing scheme, the Country Homes Project, a 5-year and 500-acre project worth 1 billion naira, the New Badagry Homes, a 10 billion naira worth project just at its initial stage. In a bid to digitalize the real estate sector, Abel co-founded PettySave, a financial technological solution born out of the passion to give millennials, low and middle income earners the opportunity to save, invest, and get access to credit in the pursuit of their real estate dreams. Abel is passionate about empowering youth into a culture of growth, savings, and investment for a future of financial freedom. You can start your journey to financial freedom at www.pettysave.com. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome Abel Adejoh to YDC 2019 as he takes on the plenary session on evolving financially from savings to investment.
Just one box all the way to Abuja. I mean, it doesn't sound right, and that's how PetSave came about. Now, why did I start with this colo idea, right? People put money there so that in case of emergency, they can get there. In case of targets, they can get there, right? But see, as I was saving my own 1,000 per day, I'll come back from work, I'll remove 1,000 from my wallet, put it inside. I mean, that was a very stupid move, but as at that time, it didn't look like that. I will starve myself at work, come and put 1,000 inside my box, right? There was one particular day, I was almost embarrassed at the bus stop because that time I was not driving to work yet. I was almost embarrassed at the bus stop because my money dropped and I had to trek all the way from a major bus stop to our house. I didn't tell my parents. My brother is in this crowd. He's just knowing this for the first time. Now, the anger I used to break that my colo, you can imagine the anger I used to break that colo. I scattered it. I now counted the money. I saw that I had like 75,000. It's like, wow, I'm a big boy. As in 75,000 naira. I held that cash like this. My head was just sweating. I went to meet my mom. I want to eat spaghetti today. How much do you need? Can you imagine? 75,000 naira. Now, I thought I was saving, but that 75,000, it finished that week. Yeah. One new Infinix phone came out. It was all over. I'll just type google.com, that Infinix will just pop up. I'll open Facebook, Infinix. I'll open Twitter, Infinix. I said, I think God is speaking to me. I spent like 50-something thousand on that phone. I was feeling proud, very sleek, everything. Under 2 weeks again, I was back to trekking from bus stop to my house, you know. It didn't make any sense. And to solve this problem, that was how PetSave came about. Like, I mean, I'm making so much money. As at that time, I think my basic salary, where I started working, my first salary was 20,000 naira, right? But the amount I was making on a monthly basis was nothing less than maybe 500,000. I was designing houses for at least 20 people a month. So it wasn't ready my profile. So far, I've designed over 400 houses, right, for people. Not many architects can boast of that. And that's because of the nature of where I worked, right? So on an average, 20 people per month, I was making good money, really. But there was nothing to show for it, nothing at all. And that was where PetSave came about. Now, the topic is supposed to be from how you can evolve from savings to investments. But, I mean, for you to be an investor, you even have to, you know, have an idea of savings first, right? So some people might look at that topic and say, oh, why are they trying to just push us to being investors straight? You have the opportunity to start saving right now. Now, when we created PetSave, there was something we did intentionally. It didn't sit well with outsiders, or it didn't sit well with our potential users. Before you invest on our platform, you must save. Because that's the process. You don't just jump from being, how do I put it now? Financially indisciplined. Let me use that English, right? You don't just jump from that to being an investor. It never works. It never works. If you get 1 million naira today that you don't have a plan for, right? And you've not been disciplined before, you might say, oh, let me just go and invest it on this platform. Fine. The moment you are broke, you are going back to take that money. And there's no point. It doesn't make you an investor. It doesn't make you an investor. Our brother has spoken today about discipline. Discipline is one of the most important things when it comes to being an investor. And that's what savings does for you. So saving to investing, that's the process. Discipline is like the link between the two of them. So I've defined savings. How do I go next? Okay. Investing, buying assets such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate with the expectation that your investment will make money for you. Investments usually are selected to achieve long-term goals. Long-term goals. Generally speaking, investments can be categorized as income investments or growth investments. Now, let me talk about this. Many of us feel like we are too young to start investing. Yeah. While I was in school here, I had a coursemate who at that time was already buying land. As at 300 level, that was when I knew about it. He was paying 10,000 naira monthly to one of these real estate companies so that I could own land at some point. And we felt like, dude, why are you buying land? Why are you making us feel like we don't have sense? As in, why? Why? Our parents are sending us money to buy food, you are buying land. What's that? Stop making us feel somehow. He will just laugh it off. And, you know, I've shared this with the Department of Architecture. This particular guy I'm talking about, he relocated to the US about 5 years ago. And which money did he use? He sold the land that he was paying 10,000 naira for. That's an investment. He sold that land, and that catered for at least 80% of what he needed to leave the country. You can imagine how all of us felt. We were eating and getting fat. He was just, you know, doing things. Now he's in US. Us, we are here to fight with VIO, like our guy said. We'll fight with VIO, I mean, in the past 2 weeks alone, or let's say this week, what I've experienced on Nigerian roads is just, it has been the most annoying set of things. Like, because now, investing, let me just mix two things together. You remember I said Twitter is like one of the best places to sell things right now, yeah? I was in Dubai last week, and this particular time, I didn't go to enjoy myself. I wanted to go and check out some of the best places in Dubai. I was there in February, but that was for me to go and rest. As in, I took my leave, I went there to rest. But this time, I was going around and I was seeing things. Now, before traveling to Dubai last week, I was in a store, and I bought one particular sneakers for about 28,000 or so. And it felt like a deal, like, wow, this is a very good deal. We got to Dubai. I saw the original store. Now, this is how it is in Dubai, right? Nike, Adidas, and all these popular brands, they even have stores for factory defects. There's something called factory defects. Now, so if they make a mistake with one of their brands, they push it out. They don't, you know, there's something called time value of money. They don't take that thing back to go and repair. The amount of time they will spend trying to fix the issue on one pair of shoes, they would have produced like 3 of it. So why go back to that? So any of their product that has issues, they just push it to one side, they roll it out as factory defects. Now, if an Adidas shoe is supposed to cost 40,000, factory defects will cost like maybe 20% of that, 8,000 naira. And they have stores for that. But you see, there are some people who don't want to wear factory defect. And when you see the defect, you'll be wondering, what's wrong? Where's the defect? As in, so now, first of all, the shoe I bought in Lagos, thinking I bought the one directly from their gold store, was factory defect. That's number one. I got to Dubai, and I saw that shoe was 4,000 naira. I bought it for 28,000 in Lagos. You can imagine what entered my head at that point. I told myself, I'm coming back. I'm coming with like 5 bags. Yes. Now, that's a form of investment. Now, there's something here, income investments or growth investments. Now, think about it. While coming back, I still came back with a very big bag. Everything I bought inside that bag was not up to 100,000, but you need to see what I brought. Every 12 hours, the entire stores in Dubai are restocked. Everything they sell, they produce in that Dubai. I bought for my staff in PettySave, I bought a lot of things for them. I got sneakers for some of them. You know, the excitement at which they were, you know, in my mind I was like, if these guys know how much I bought this, are you sure they'll be happy like this? Because they checked online and they saw that, wow, this one is 12,000, this one is 15,000. Meanwhile, I bought these things 1,000 naira in Dubai. Things that are being sold for 15,000 naira here, 1,000 naira in Dubai. Now, as I've said 1,000, you might think, oh, he didn't even spend money or he didn't buy quality. When you see the quality, you understand what I'm talking about. That's another form of investment. Now, if you carry, as a student, if you save 5,000 naira, right, monthly for 1 year, you have 60,000 naira. That's minus any interest or something. That's even if you decide to put that money in your bag or something. You don't have to travel to Dubai. All you need to do is look for someone you know that is going. If you bring stuff worth 60,000 from Dubai and you sell it in this campus, right, the money you make, you'll be shocked. See, me that I'm already making money from different angles, I already told myself that, see, when I get back next year, I'm going to do this thing, don't worry. I already told someone who is selling on a small scale that, come, do you want me to empower you? Yeah. Do you want me to, how much is your entire store? Like, she said, okay, she has not spent up to 100,000. And okay, what do you even have in your store? And I saw the very, very tiny things. She's buying locally. I mean, what's that? You are wasting money. And I felt like, okay, maybe it's because for now she can't go to Dubai on her own. So I told her, you know, this is what we are going to be doing going forward. Anytime I go to Dubai, I'll bring goods worth maybe like 200,000, right? I'm pretty sure you don't have enough space for it. But this is the agreement. You sell, you take 50% of the profits, I take 50% of the profits. You remember, she's not investing any money. All she's doing is helping me to sell. So if I buy a shoe of 1,000 naira, I sell it for 15,000. There's what? 14,000 naira profit on it. She earns 7,000, I earn 7,000 naira. Now, that's very huge for the two of us. A very greedy person will say she should take 10% and I'll take, no, I'm not doing that. No. Now, we've heard about how tough Nigeria is. Are you going to wait for someone to always bail you out? Are you going to wait to beg for something before you are bailed out of a situation? No. It's little steps like savings and investments that get you out of it. Everyone thinks it's a rich person that invests. No. There are so many platforms right now that can enable people save or invest as low as 100 naira. You might wonder, okay, what would 100 naira investment do for me? Let me quickly give you one stat here. Let's see. Now let's look at this very well. If you deposited 60,000 naira in a savings account at 5% annual interest, now this savings, your bank account. Now you feel like you have savings account, right, in your bank account. It is not a savings account. It's a spending account. It's just named savings account. Today, when you leave here, you go to CAF and pay with what? Your POS. Is that a savings account? If you are going to pay with you have savings accounts in a bank, but when you get to CAF or you get to shopping mall, you buy something and pay with POS. You are not saving now, you are spending. It's not a savings account. And the thing with banks, they will tell you there's interest rate. Now, with the number of millions that was passed through my account last year, huge numbers, the entire interest I got was not up to 500 naira. Yeah, it wasn't up to 500 naira. Because they have a condition that they will never tell you, that if you don't touch your money, I mean, if you don't do any transaction, maybe up to twice a month, that's when they will pay the interest. And For an entrepreneur, there's no possible way money will enter your account and you won't do more than 2 transactions. For every credit alert that enters, there are like 10 debit alerts. That's how it is for entrepreneurs. So how do you want to get that interest? What does 200 naira want to do in my life? Really? So now, let's look at this. You get a platform. Now, this start is a general start, but let me now use Nigerian start for you. If you put 60,000 naira in a Nigerian bank, right, and you don't touch it for 1 year, you will get your interest too. But I hope you know your money will be less than this 60,000 by the end. When they take maintenance charge, they take a card maintenance charge, text message. Now, the card is inside my pocket. How are they maintaining it for me? How? But they take that money every month. I saw some figures last week or so, or 2 weeks ago, the amount they've made from just bank charges, some of these banks. I think Zenith has run into billions, and the year has not ended. From maintenance charge, that's free money for them. Do you get? They are not maintaining anything. It's a software that runs all these things. If it's workers that are trying to do the statement and everything one by one, I can understand. But everything is a software. It's like how PettySave is. We'll now start charging people money for maintaining your account or something. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? That's Nigerian bank. But let's look at this very well. If you deposit 60,000 into a savings account at 5% annual interest, it will grow to 162,758 naira in 20 years. 60,000 to 162. But I mean, would you live 20 years of your life to just increase by 100,000? I mean, no. Even the poorest person doesn't hope for this. But now look at if you invest. The same 60,000 naira invested in real estate. I use real estate as an example because that's my domain, right? I understand a lot about real estate. You invest 60,000 in real estate, average of 20% per year. For 20 years, it will grow to how much? 3,169,651. Do you think anyone here is incapable of doing this? 60,000 naira a year is 5,000 naira a month. How much do we collect as pocket money? How much do we earn? You might feel like, okay, I'm collecting 15,000. How will I go and invest 5,000 of it? There's something called delayed gratification. Yeah. You guys, let me not say you guys, us, we are involved in so much spending, unnecessary spending, that we think, oh, you can't do without. All of us, that's it. At some point, I used to buy Ashwebi. Where I work, we have over, that's Pertinence Limited, where I consult for them, right? I used to work there before I set up PettySave. Now, we have over 5,000 people, team members, 5,000. So you can imagine that someone will always get married every Saturday. Yeah, over 5,000 people. So you have to budget for, it was already a mental calculation. We have to budget for Ashwebi for 52 weeks. As in, even if the least Ashwebi is 2,000 naira, that's already what? 104,000. That's totally unnecessary spending. For like 2 years now, the only Ashwebi I've bought, I think, is my sister's wedding and one of my very close friends' wedding. If you have wedding, I'll wear my white and come. If you say I can't enter, it's good for me. I don't like going out. I'll just sit down at home and call you later and wish you, happy married life. Really, unnecessary spending. There are many people, they don't eat well because of Ashwebi. Yes, I know them. things like that. Why are you now buying a console that you probably play maybe 3 times in an entire year, knowing that you're in school? Waste of money, really. Waste of money. As I am, I don't have a console. It's not because I can't afford it, but what do I need it for, really? I have a system that can handle such. Even with this, my system, some 3 weeks ago, before I traveled, some of my friends were challenging me that, oh, let's play FIFA, I'll beat you. For every match you win, I'll give you 5,000 naira. That was nice. So we've played FIFA before, and out of lack of competition, he'll win some, I'll lose some, like that. So the overconfidence was now too much. And I told him, please don't beat me too much, Joe. I didn't sleep that night. We played about 20 games. I won 15 of it, and he won 5. So you can imagine that I took all his money. 75,000 naira. Easy, in one night, right? But I didn't buy a console. I used my system. We use system all through. And put it on a big screen. That was it. I mean, that's unnecessary spending. For our ladies, wow. Please, don't be angry with me. Don't be angry with me. But I've seen wigs of like 300,000 naira. Wig. I get that it's quality. I understand that it's quality, but are you saying there are no quality wigs of 50K or something? I mean, I know ladies like to have like 4 different wigs or something. So if you buy 4 300,000 naira wigs, that's 1.2 million. Why do you have one wig that is 300,000? Do you know? Now, how many of us know who Sheyi Makinde is? Governor of Oyo State, right? Do you know the kind of good things are happening in Oyo State right now? A lot is happening. People's focus are going to Oyo State. Now, how much is a plot of land in Oyo State? The major places in Ibadan, you see plot of land for 1 million, 2 million. You go to Ogbomosho side, you see land of 100,000, 200, and you are wearing 3 plots on your head. No, it might sound funny, but these are things you can invest in. Now, look at, this guy is doing a lot in Oyo State, right? He has 8 years to show, as in 8 years to improve, turn around that state. Imagine you buy a plot of land for 100,000 naira right now. Are you telling me you still sell it 100,000 in 8 years? From the crowd I can see here, I don't think anybody will be up to 50 in 8 years here. I don't think, in fact, 95% of people here won't be up to 40 in 8 years. So there's no rush. 100,000 naira for you, it might sound big. Why not make a plan, right? I want to save this money over a period of time. I want to acquire a plot of land. And just leave it like that. My dad bought, I think, 6 plots of land in Kogi State. That was maybe 1999 or something. He bought each one 10,000 naira. 6 plots in the GRA part of, that's where we are from, Kogi State. Right now, people are pricing one plot for 3 million naira. That was what, 20 years back. But 60,000 as at that time, he could have just gone to eat catfish with that money and drink beer or something. He just bought that land and said, let it be there. Right now, they are pricing it for 3 million naira. That's real estate investment for you, right? It's one of the most secure investments because it's tangible, right? I mean, you have papers to back this. So, there are low-risk investments and high-risk investments. Many of us sitting here might not understand the stock market, so you might not want to invest here. You might not understand Forex. So why not invest in something that you can be sure, right? For every piece of land you purchase, there are always documents to back it. Now, you don't know much about land. All you need to do is look for the people who know about it, really. Let them give you insights before you invest in things like this. Now, look at this start, for God's sake. I mean, it's blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind because 20 years from now, maybe the oldest person here will be like maybe 50 or something, or 55. And it's just 60,000 naira. Just 60,000 naira. You don't know what this money can do for you at that time. You might be very wealthy, but see, no matter how wealthy you are, you won't turn money down, right? If now saving 100 naira per day for a year amounts to 36,500. With interest, that's like 40,000 something. If this is a crossover service right now, December 31st to 1st of January, and I say one person here, I'm going to give you 40,000 naira. Will you focus on the crossing over or the 40,000? Let's be honest. I mean, it's not like you don't have money, but your mind will be pinned on that 40,000 because it's free money, right? So what does it cost you to save 100 naira per day? You're in a student environment. What does it cost you? I mean, you can't tell me you are surviving in this school right now without having at least 100 naira daily to spare. I know there were times in 100 level I didn't have 100 naira. See, I understand how it is, but if you are listening to things like this, then it shouldn't be the case. I don't know if students are still allowed to do business on campus, but even if you are not, as I when we were here, hardly anybody was on Twitter or Instagram or anything, so there was no business sense online. But you guys have the social media to do business. Are you ashamed to do business? No. Remember, not everybody has to be an entrepreneur, but I'm telling you how you can even make some income to start saving and investing. Pretty easy. So I don't want us to have the mentality that we are too young to start investing or saving. Now let's look at this together too. This is a typical case of someone who started investing at age 18 and someone who started investing at age 31. This person investing at age 18 was investing $2,000 for 10 years and stopped. $2,000 for 10 years. That's total amount invested, $20,000, right? Now, at year 10, he stopped. Let's look at this other person who started investing at age 31. So this guy stopped at age 28, 10 years later, and let the money to grow till I think 50 or so. And this guy started investing $2,000 for the next 35 years. Now look at the difference. Someone invested $2,000 yearly for 10 years and stopped. Then another person started at age 31 and invested till they were 51, I think. Okay, no, not 51. Till they were 65. So someone started at age 31, invested for 35 years. This was his balance. He invested for 35 years. This was his balance after that. $295,000. $295,000, 827, right? While this person invested from age 18 to age 28 and stopped, just let the money to be growing at the annual interest rate. This one invested for 10 years, this one invested for 35 years. Who has a higher balance? Obviously, the guy who started early. So you are not too young to start investing. In fact, this is the best time for it. I wish I heard things like this while I was in school. See, we've heard of Bitcoin, we've heard of Forex, all those things. I think I was one of the early adopters of Bitcoin, right? And I just bought that thing and sold it at one ridiculous price. That time, I think there was a time I bought maybe 50,000 naira worth of Bitcoin while I was in school, while I was doing my printing business. I think that was the best decision I made. But that decision, it lasted maybe only 2 months. And I felt foolish again because, okay, I bought it 50,000. After 2 months, I saw that I could sell this thing for about 85,000 or so. I sold it off. I mean, if in 2 months I've made almost 100%, I felt like a financial guru. And I didn't buy just one Bitcoin that time. Bitcoin was how much that time? Very cheap. I think I bought maybe 2.5 Bitcoin. Right now, one Bitcoin is no less than, I think, 5 million naira. One like this. So something I bought 50,000, if I left it till up till now, right, it would be worth 2.5. Sorry, 5 million times 2.5. That's what, 12.5 million. Something I bought 50,000. If I left it alone, it would be worth 12.5 million. That's not even the biggest issue. There's something, I mean, we all know what greed is. Greed plays its part in some of these things. So you are investing somewhere that is steady, right? You now see one very shady looking opportunity, you go and pack all your money from here, put it in MMM. You collect the first one, you collect the second one. You feel like life is good, right? You put in everything you've collected. Then you put in like 1 million, your life savings. Then you hear that the person that is doing MMM in Russia, he has stroke. The same stroke will now translate to you because, okay, what's going to happen? What's my business if he has stroke? Where is my money? I mean, that's what happened to people. Some people died because of MMM. Now, I'm saying this because at some point, greed affected me too. December 2017, that was the worst time of my life. I had Bitcoin worth almost 10 million. December 2017. Because as I failed early, I got to know more about Bitcoin, right? Now, as at that time, I didn't even know the value. I just knew that I had this particular number of Bitcoin. It was when the entire thing failed, I now started doing the calculation. I mean, if I had gone, maybe I would have injured myself. I won't commit suicide, but I would have injured myself. Like, why are you so stupid? I had Bitcoin worth almost 10 million naira. And, you know, I saw that this thing was growing, right? I spent maybe 600,000 to buy the entire thing. And it was worth 10 million after maybe 18 months. I saw that it had grown, so I was like, okay, let me take this money. Let me take this money. Now, the greed is not 100% my fault because I had someone who was advising me, right? And he was like, guy, calm down. Can't you see that it has grown to 10 million? Imagine what it will be in the next 3 months, 6 months. Let it grow to like 20M. You know, you can buy that Benz. You're always thinking of everything. This was playing in my head. You know, when someone mentions something you like, that's where it just start popping up everywhere. You know, I was seeing that white Benz just pass my front. So okay, let me chill. I can drive this car in the next 3 months. December 2017, one Bitcoin was worth $19,000 on December, I think 15th. One Bitcoin, $15,000. December 19th, one Bitcoin crashed to $2,800. $15,000 to $2,800. Now, at $2,800, it was still profit for me. It was painful, but it was still profit for me based on what I bought. But, I mean, greed. The guy who was advising me was like, dude, this is December. Everybody's withdrawing their money to buy December things. That's why it crashed. Don't worry, in January, everybody will put money back, everything. I was like, guy, let me take this money. He said, calm down. He convinced me too. I was doing well with him. I checked the same Bitcoin because after that time, I just forgot about it. I checked the Bitcoin like maybe 2 months ago or so. Because it's not just Bitcoin, it's actually cryptocurrency. So I bought some other currencies and all that and kept. I checked the value of my $2,800. Right now it's $250. All the way from $19,000 to what? $250,000. That's where greed came in. Now, it's a combination of greed and lack of knowledge. That's why I keep insisting that you guys are lucky to be hearing something like this. Don't just take your money and go and trade somewhere. Listen to, go online, look out for the best forms of investment. But I can tell you that the best form of investment right now is real estate. It's the best. The most secure would be government bonds, T-bills, and all that. But I'm not sure you guys know much about it. Let's see. So choosing saving products. This is the reason why people would choose saving products. Safety, interest, and ease of access, and easy tracking. And we have all this as part of our features on PettySave, right? Now, I'm going to come out open and tell you that PettySave is not the best savings platform out there. I'm not the type to go and hype up my product and tell you this and that, and when you come, you'll be disappointed. PettySave is not even up to a year, right? But in this space of time, we have about 3,500 users, and I'm contented with that number. I'm not looking to grow to 50,000 users, and 40,000 are not happy with the product. We are at the growing stage, right? But this is what we are doing. Now, every other savings platform out there, they are for the open, like every single person. Every one of them has their gospel, right? The founders of PiggyVest are all my friends. Yeah, founders of PiggyVest, they are all CU graduates, all of them CU graduates. Now, their gospel is what? Savings. That's what they hammer about, savings, savings, savings. They have investments, but they hammer about savings. That's grassroots. You think about Cowrywise. Cowrywise has about 4 CU graduates on the team too. Cowrywise, their gospel is what? Investing. Investing, investing, investing. You are not too young to invest everything. So with PettySave, what we plan to do, not what we plan to do, what we're already doing, you see, we're already going to campuses, sensitizing students, right? You can take this same process, but don't stop there. Because, okay, if you save, you invest, you are growing your wealth. What goal do you have to, why are you growing your wealth? Is it just to grow and look at it? No. You should be doing something with that wealth you are growing. Now look at, I'm sure all of us, you know OPay, right? You can't tell me you don't know OPay or ORIDE. OPay just got another series of funding from China, $120 million funding as per take and make your business better. $120 million, I can't calculate it in my head, and don't worry, I used to calculate maths very well. $120 million. Their first funding, like 6 months ago, was $50 million. So in total, they've gotten almost $200 million. Now, why is this story coming up? The company that invested $120 million in OPay from China. Now, China has, our brother said China is like the world power right now. And that's correct. China has over, I think, is it 1,000 or 1,000,000 billionaires? No, sorry, 1,000 billionaires in dollars right now. Not even the US comes close. 1,000 billionaires. And every year, see, what I love about China is the top 3 is not always the same every year. It's always changing. So every new year, more billionaires are made. There's so much innovation in China that anything you do right now, so far it's a good product, it springs you up. But since I was like this, I've been hearing Bill Gates since like this. I'm not saying there's anything terrible. I'm just telling you how much of a world power China is. Innovation. So now, why did I bring OPay into this? The person that put 120 million into OPay, he said, okay, I've made $1 billion. And the thing about Chinese, they don't like looking at their money to just sit down. That's why it keeps changing. I've made $1 billion. How can I make more? Invested $120 million in OPay because right now OPay is making waves. $120 million in the next 10 years could turn to $1.2 billion again for that same person for 10 years. He invested in a viable business. $120 million. That's just crazy. Like, every single billionaire in China, check them out. None of them, go and check. In fact, today, what I want you to do, check out the top 3 and check it out in the next 3 months and see if the names are the same, right? That's the power of investment. Investment is not just you making money and sitting down looking at it. No, you have to do something with that money. So where PettySave comes in now, I've said I have vast experience in real estate. Now this is some of the products we'll be rolling out next year. I think you guys are, I'm happy you guys are here to listen to this. Now, imagine a case where as a student or as a lecturer here, you have hostels in other schools for people to rent. It might sound very big that no, there's no way I can afford that, right? Now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to enable millennials to own real estate for life, to have income for life. Now, this is how it goes. We are, let's say, 60 here. I was at Kwara State University some 2 months back, and I saw that now they don't have campuses on school, or if they do, I think it's just for 100 level students. Opposite the university, I saw just 3 blocks of hostels, and they are owned by individuals, right? Owned by individuals. And there's shortage, serious shortage when it comes to hostels. I now made my inquiry like, okay, how much does it cost to own a plot of land around that place? Say maximum $1 million, one plot. And based on my expertise as an architect, I know what I can put on one plot that will favor people for life. Yeah, You can have as much as maybe 18 hostel units on one plot of land. That's one room and parlor self. And how much does it cost to build one unit? Maybe 700,000 naira. Now, as a student, you might not have 700,000 naira. If 10 of you put 70,000 naira each, you own that hostel for life. And you are renting it out for life. So every year when the rent comes in, you earn your percentage of the rent. So if 10 of you were supposed to bring 70,000 naira, but it's only 5 people that did 140,000 naira each, or something like that, it means each person earns 20% of the rent for life. You guys can decide to sell your unit to another person. You share the profit. Now, your first piece of real estate doesn't have to be the one you live in. Your first house, it doesn't have to be the one you live in. There's this struggle in Nigeria for people to build their first house and move in and brag, I'm living in my house. I'm into real estate, I'm an architect, that's not my dream. The first few houses I want to build, I want to make serious money from it. House is not an asset, let me just tell you the truth. They say if you are looking for a loan, and even if you are looking for a loan, they'll take it as collateral. There's every chance they'll take that house from you. House becomes an asset when you are earning from it. If you are living in your house, you are maintaining that house. You are maintaining that house, you are spending more money on that house. So it's not an asset. I have very few minutes to go, so let me just quickly brush through what I have. Choosing investments. I talked about treasury bills. I talked about government bonds also. So I said you guys might not really understand that. So what should you do instead? Pick the one you might understand. Now, income producing investment, real estate, that's just what I talked about now. Crowdfunding, where 10 of you can come, own a hostel block or something and earn for life, right? So making your investment plan, secure enough money to invest. I think we can make this available to everybody, really, this slide. It's pretty explanatory. So you make enough money to invest. You also know what you're investing in. You think long term. Remember I said you're owning these hostel blocks for life. For life. Your children can come and still own it after. It might sound like what you're making in a year is too small, but remember the compounding interest I've been talking about, how if you invest 60,000 per year for 20 years, this is how much you make. From places like this, I mean, you can be set up for life. So this is where I'll stop today. I'll just say that on PettySave, I don't want, how do I put it? I don't want it to look like I'm marketing my product right now. But just because based on the plan we have for next year, I'd love that everybody who attended this program just go on PettySave. I don't want you to go and save any money. Now, if I'm marketing my product, I want you to start saving and investing on PettySave. All I need is your email address. So what you can do is go to our website, www.pettysave.com, and just register. No need to save. I mean, if you want to save, you can save, but no need to save. I need the email address of everyone here because I'm very happy that some of you took out time. I mean, I'm seeing guys playing ball. I've been shouting about if we had things like this, there's every probability that even if we had things like this, I'll be outside there playing ball. That's the truth. There's every probability. But I'm glad that you guys, I mean, you know, you took that step to be here today. So for that, I need all your email addresses so that immediately these plans are rolled out, I mean, you guys get first-hand experience of it. Now, you have between now and say the next 3 months to start planning how you want to invest. You can start saving from now and 3 months. No amount is too small to invest. Now, it doesn't have to be just that. We have other investments on our platform where you earn as much as 21% in 9 months, investing 40,000, investing 50,000. You can save towards that, start investing. You roll over these things for for a number of years, and you are good to go, really. So thank you very much for having me here, and I hope you've learned a lot.